if I drop milk on the floor, I could cry for an hour and be like, my world has gone to shit. I don't know. But the bigger things for me as well is like, okay, how do we handle this?
It's great to talk to you both. I'm a little bit shook after watching this, to be honest with you. But I genuinely, I'm here. I'm alive. I felt like I was
Oh,
actually. That's. Let's start with that actually, because I mean, Matt, the writing's so good. Obviously, Suranne, the acting's so good, but the story, the writing, I really felt like I was nearly in it. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those
well, that's
shows
brilliant,
where I'm
Sean.
actually like, oh my God. So how do you even go about like where does it begin to create that kind of drama and tension for the audience? Because is that something you're thinking about all the way through? Is that something from the start you go, oh, I know how I'm gonna map this out? Or how do you do it?
I think
We all
well,
know.
Sean, here we go. You've got to start with this sort of sense that you would bring to it if you're an audience member. So when I start to write, I'm like, how do I want to feel? And how I want to feel is, I want to feel adrenalized. I want to feel sort of torn between one choice you might make, another choice you might make. You start to basically get to a place where you're like, okay, if I can land a twist there, that's going to change everything. That's going to change how I feel. That's going to change how an audience feel. So you just start to walk forward, Sean, and make sure that your characters are never fully in control. And that way the audience is always kept slightly off balance, you know?
Okay. And
That's
Saran, you
great.
obviously know, so you obviously
I
know
know.
how
I'm like,
to.
that's great. Who wrote this show? You. We should do a
but
show with
You
you.
should. We'll work together.
speaking of which, you know, I believe you wanted to work together for a long time now. This isn't just something that randomly happened. This is something you were hoping for this project to come along. So, Saran, why? I mean, we've just probably heard why he's so good, but why did you really want to work with Matt? Do you want to go? Was it all the reasons he's so? Because he can just come up with these things.
Well, yeah, I think I mean it's going back a while now, but just when you meet someone and you kind of get a feeling of like that you have the same sensibilities, that you're like, you like to work in that way. There's never been anything too pretentious about our kind of working relationship, but we are very invested in the work that we do.
Yeah.
There's a difference, and I think that we both take it very seriously, but we're not. It's not like we're overly serious people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the work is important. So I think it's like I'm quite geekish in that way, as you are, of like making sure that what we're doing is worthwhile,
Yeah.
worth it. Because you've got a family, I've got a
Yeah.
family. It's like so it took a while to just get to that place where we're like, and in the end, we were like, right, come on, let's do something. And I've never worked in the political world before, played a lot of powerful women, but never this because and I think it was the power and the responsibility of the power,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the weight of that mixed with being an every woman, a mum was really
Yeah.
what kind of drew us together on it, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. And could you relate to the side of the characters when I'm looking at Abigail and she's so together when she gets the news, she's like straight into logistics of how she's going to solve this problem. And I'm thinking I'll just be a total mess. Obviously I'd never be prime minister, but I'd be a mess in that situation. Did you relate to that side or was that a lot of acting? How do you get into that character if you're not relating to that side?
I think, I think as a person, that was quite easy for me. If I drop milk on the floor, I could cry for an hour and be like, my world has gone to shit. I don't know. But the bigger things for me as well is like, okay, how do we handle this? This is big. And that particular scene, when we were working on it, that was the only reaction that do you remember that?
I really
You
do.
know, like, it's the only reaction I could think of.
Yeah.
Like
But
sometimes you
what I
can play it
think
different ways.
but what I think is really interesting, like to get very analytical on that particular scene, what I think is great about what Saran's doing is she is all forward momentum, but you can really see in her eyes she's slightly punch drunk. There's the political brain in her that's like, right, we need to do this, this, and this. And then there's the human side of her as a wife of this guy who's like, is he okay? What the fuck do I do? Is everything going to be, like, so I think she does both things simultaneously, which for me is so exciting to watch.
And we never
Yeah.
get to see, because she's also saying, and I have to figure out how to tell my daughter, which we never see her in it be like you don't allow her to do that
No.
because then there's a text that comes through and then she has to manage another
Yeah.
situation. So I think that that's the speed of the political world is what excites me, is
Mm.
because you haven't got time to think about anything
Yeah.
because it moves so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is going to be, I think, the question at every water cooler and work as soon as everybody watches this when it drops.
Mhm.
Should she have resigned? Like, so for individually, if it was you, because it is the ultimate, you're kind of, as I was going back and forth in my head going, oh yeah, but really she should. And then I'm going, oh no, she's doing the right thing because that's her job. And that's, everybody's going to be talking about this. What would you do? Or do you know what you'd do in that situation?
Yeah, and do you think it's different because she's a woman? You know, because what she's expected to do, which is what, you know, she says is, you know, I, they're doing this to me because they expect me to react in a certain way, but we don't give in to terrorists. She wants to be the change maker. She wants to be able to stand up, and she feels like she's able to control the situation enough to get what she wants, but she can't. And I think that she will be judged, and I think that's great. I think we should be asking those questions of what she has an allegiance to the country. You make a lot of promises. That's the job you want to do. Those are the breaks. You know, this is the job, and Kofi is the voice of that.
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
well. And then they come, you know, at odds through that. But he's the one that is kind of, you know, in her ear about that, reminding her that that's who she is, and the presence of her father as well. You know, all of these things interplaying at once, which is the beauty of the water cooler dilemma.
Where did you end up though, Sean? What was your feeling? Should she have resigned or should she not have resigned?
I think I ended up with the right choice is she shouldn't resign because if you take that job, then. But what would I do? I think I'd resign. Don't tell anybody because they won't let me. Well, I could be maybe president in Ireland. Like I'd never be prime minister in England. But do you know what I mean? Don't tell them. But I think I'd be resigning. I do.
Yeah, and I think Suranne just saw it recently with an audience, and her overwhelming feeling as an audience member was just resign.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, listen, I could talk to you both all day. Sorry, I've got to be wrapped. So, thank you so much, and thank you so much for this show. Honestly, I think this is going to be one of the biggest shows of the year.